Welcome to this video, which is part of a series of training videos for the Colonial Waterbird program. This video will cover an overview of SFBBO. This video will include the mission and goals of SFBBO, SFBBO staff and programs, and an overview of the Colonial Waterbird program goals and history. SFBBO is dedicated to the conservation of birds and their habitats through science and outreach. The goals of our organization are to enhance knowledge about birds and their habitats in the San Francisco Bay Area, allow the public to participate in science-based programs and events, and to inform other organizations about the status of the birds. There are several reasons to focus on birds for conservation purposes. The health of bird populations is an indicator of the condition of the environment. Monitoring bird populations can help us to detect any environmental change or disturbance, such as pollutants, climate change, and habitat degradation, because birds are easy to track and have high visibility. Birds can provide numerous ecosystem services, such as pollination, dispersing seeds, and rodent and insect control. They also provide a great opportunity for outreach and getting the public involved in birding and citizen science. With the purchase of birding equipment in various programs, birding can also provide economic benefits. There are several science programs within SFBBO that focus on different groups of birds, including land birds, plovers, and water birds. Another team focuses on habitat restoration. Each program has its own activities and goals that relate to bird conservation. SFBBO hosts a variety of outreach programs to get the public involved in bird conservation, such as family science events, bird banding demos, and science talks. We also use social media to help spread awareness and information. For this training, we'll be focusing on the Waterbird program. The term waterbird is a general term to describe a group of birds that live in or around water and can be broken down into shorebirds, waterfowl, wading birds, and seabirds. Our specific focus in this training is on colonial waterbirds. Colonial waterbirds gather in large assemblages to breed and obtain food from the water. We focus on species from two groups of waterbirds: seabirds, which includes gulls, terns, and cormorants, and wading birds, which includes herons and egrets. Why are we concerned about waterbird populations in the first place? Many waterbird populations are declining around the world, with 17% of waterbird species considered globally threatened. Waterbirds are more susceptible to a variety of disturbances because of their habitat requirements on land and in water. Some disturbances include oil pollution, entanglement of fishing gear, competition or predation by introduced predators, habitat destruction, and, especially in the San Francisco Bay Area, consequences of the rise in human population and development, such as construction, roads, and noise pollution. These activities can disturb feeding, nesting, and breeding. Disturbance can result in delayed reproduction and direct mortality. Tracking waterbirds also has the potential to alert us to problems that could affect human health. Since 1982, SFBBO has annually recruited and trained community scientists to monitor nesting herons, egrets, cormorants, gulls, and terns in the San Francisco Bay as part of our Colonial Waterbird program. The program emphasizes community engagement and community science in order to 1. Increase monitoring capacity across a large geographic area, and 2. Generate public interest in protecting waterbirds and their habitats. Many of the colonies monitored by SFBBO community scientists could not otherwise be tracked. The data we collect are shared with a variety of partners. The Colonial Waterbird Protocol is designed to answer a set of core science questions that we believe are key to enabling land managers to evaluate their practices and meet the needs of breeding colonial waterbirds. Here are our key questions. 1. How do the distribution and abundance of breeding colonial waterbirds of target species change through time within our study area, and what causes the observed changes at the site and regional scales? 2. What affects the spatial distribution of breeding colonies at the landscape scale? 3. What affects breeding productivity, i.e. fledging rate, at the colony and landscape scales, and how is productivity changing through time? 4. What colony and landscape scale drivers affect colony establishment, longevity, and collapse? 5. What drives affect the timing of breeding activity, phenology, and the duration of breeding activity, synchrony? The data from the Colonial Waterbird program can give us information about population trends over time, as well as site-specific information that contributes to conservation and restoration efforts. Here are several organizations that have used information from this program. The Colonial Waterbird program also helps promote bird conservation through education, which excites the public about birds and helps ignite action. Training community scientists also increases understanding and trust in the scientific method. Funding for the Colonial Waterbird program comes from our fundraising efforts, including donations, the California Fall Challenge fundraising events, corporate matching donations, and membership dues. The nature of this program and much of our organization as a whole is rooted in community involvement. We could not monitor so many active sites without the help of our volunteers. Together, the work that you do helps us understand and monitor the status of breeding waterbirds around the Bay Area.